Peace, family. It's your brother Marc Lamont Hill. Draymond Green, the star power forward slash center for the Golden State Warriors, has been suspended indefinitely by the NBA. According to the league, Draymond Green is being suspended specifically for hitting Jusuf Nurkic in the face last night during a basketball game where the Phoenix Suns were playing the Golden State Warriors. And it looked like a normal basketball play until Draymond Green decided to kind of swing and hit Nurkic in the face. Now, lots of people hit people in the face and don't get suspended indefinitely. They get what Draymond got, a flagrant foul two and an ejection from the game. The difference is this ain't Draymond's first rodeo. Draymond has been suspended many times by the NBA. He's been fined many times by the NBA. He's been kicked out of games countless times by the NBA. And so the NBA finally said enough. They specifically said the indefinite suspension takes into account Green's repeated history of unsportsmanlike acts. So the question is an indefinite suspension fair? Well, let's start with the suspension part. Draymond Green has punched his teammate in the face, Jordan Poole. Draymond Green has punched people in the private parts. Think about the NBA Finals where the Golden State Warriors were playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he hit LeBron in the groin. Draymond Green choked out Rudy Gobert just a week or two ago when Gobert was really just kind of trying to break up a fight. And we've seen numerous similar acts of unnecessary, excessive, unsportsmanlike conduct. So it completely makes sense that he would be suspended. Now, the question is how long? Now, some of y'all are old school NBA people like me, and you see the physicality, you see the stepping on the guy when he's down, the extra hip toss, you see the little extra bit of physical violence, and you say, well, that's kind of what basketball is supposed to be. That's the golden era. And so you don't trip about it. But this is a different league. This is a different era. Players are bigger, stronger, faster, and you can't have people tackling people in open court. So I get it. So you say, okay, Draymond, we're giving you numerous warnings. You're suspended. The question, though, is now, if a suspension is fair, is an indefinite suspension fair? And that's where things get a little bit trickier. An indefinite suspension on its face could be wildly unfair. You can't just suspend people and say, we'll tell you when you're not suspended anymore. We'll let you know when it's over. It's like if you have a kid, you don't tell your kid you can't go outside and I'll let you know when it's done. Lots of parents do it. Never a good idea. You want to give people clear rules. You want to give people consistent rules so everybody in the league has to follow the same thing. You can't say it's indefinite, we'll decide, because then the decision changes from player to player, whether you like them or whether you hate them, whether they're a superstar or whether they're the 13th guy on the bench. We can't have different rules for different folks. We do, but we don't want to advertise that. We don't want to normalize that. So indefinite suspensions can be deeply problematic unless there's a criteria that must be met in order to have the indefinite become definite. And the league has been kind of specific about at least part of it. The NBA said Draymond Green will be required to meet, quote, certain league and team conditions before returning to the NBA. Now, supposedly, according to sources, Mike Dunleavy Jr., the general manager of the Golden State Warriors, Rich Paul, Green's agent, are supposed to meet to figure out how to support Draymond Green. And that's the part that I want to talk about the most. Why is Draymond doing this? Draymond's always been a physical player. Draymond's always been the enforcer of his team. Draymond's always been the guy that's willing to put a body on somebody. That ain't the issue. In the last 2 years, we've seen Draymond engage in even more recklessness than ever before. We've seen Draymond become not just physical, but unsportsmanlike. We've seen Draymond not seem completely controlled. And when Draymond has talked about incidents, including the Jordan Poole incident, he has sort of said, look, there's a lot going on in my life. There's a lot going on in the world. We don't want to ignore that. So rather than just suspend him, it's better to find out what's going on and then figure out how to restore him to where he was before. And this isn't just for the NBA. This is a lesson for justice around the world. Putting people in jail who were on drugs for 5 years doesn't stop them from having a drug addiction. They just come out of jail 5 years later with a drug addiction. Figure out why people are doing harm. Figure out why people are breaking rules. And then we can restore them to where they were. That's what we should be doing with Draymond. So in this case, the indefinite suspension so far is fair because they're not just saying, we're punishing you because we said so, and you're just gonna have to suck it up and take it until we say you can come back. No, 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 no. They're saying, allegedly, we're going to figure out what's wrong. We're going to get you counseling. We're going to get to the bottom of what's going on so that you can make different choices and so that you will have the tools to make those different choices. And this ain't no small thing. Draymond Green is going to be losing a lot of money here. If Draymond plays, is suspended for anywhere from 1 to 20 games, he's going to lose more than $153,000 per game. If he gets suspended for more than 20 games, we're talking about over $200,000 per game that he's going to lose. So if you miss 20 games, you're talking about millions of dollars. You're talking about $4 million. So this is no small thing, but Draymond got plenty of money. Money's not the biggest issue here. It's important. I ain't counting his pockets. I'm saying the biggest issue here, though, is Draymond being healthy and Draymond being whole. We want to make sure that that's what Draymond is. And so we are going to support Draymond Green, but we're also going to support the other players in the league who have to be victims of Draymond's unsportsmanlike physicality, flat out violence when he's not well. So to support the whole community, we're going to suspend him indefinitely, the league is saying, and we will allow him back when he's in a better place. That actually is a great model for justice. We're going to take you out of community, not forever. We're not going to throw you away, but we're going to restore you and then bring you back. Shout out to the NBA so far for what seems like a healthy and reasonable plan.